Instructions will now head inside the cage to Jaden Eds.
And now, the official Hard Knocks Fighter introductions. In the blue corner for Drone Warehouse, he's 6'3" as a professional, 32 years old, and stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 169.5 pounds. Fighting out of Canadian Fighting Center from Winnipeg, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Byron the Heat Phillips. And in the red corner for Muscle Power, he's 3-0 as a professional, 26 years old, and stands 6 feet tall. He weighed in at 170 pounds. Fighting out of TriStar from Montreal, Quebec, please welcome Hard Knocks fighter, Pistol Peter Crashcard. This bout is contested under professional rules. The referee in charge of the Hard Knocks action is Mr. Luc Boutin.
Luc Boutin will be our referee. Byron Phillips and Peter Grajkar eager to get to the center of the cage here and meet one another as the referee now guiding them back to their corners. And both of these fighters have had some great fights here at Hard Knocks, and it's going to be fun, I think, to see these two guys meet up here against one another.
Yeah, Phillips should definitely step back as soon as they touch gloves, because we definitely know what Peter's trying to do.
He comes out and starts quick, and Phillips has had his moments as well.
Peter reminds me of Kyle Pendred in the way he moves and stuff, but you definitely know he's going to hit the takedown. Kyle's much prettier, but they move the same.
Peter is a very unorthodox style, like you said, but I can tell you that he's a mean double.
There we go.
There he is.
Oh, there we go.
Mean double. Has one of the best doubles in TriStar, and what he's just ability to push forward and take it. He gets your hips. He does what he wants.
Oh, and Byron's back up. He's got an overhook. Framing against the elbow. Yeah, nice. There we go.
So Grajkar has Phillips now up against the cage, as he's trying to do a little bit of damage here, maybe take some of the power out of the legs of Byron Phillips, who again, down to welterweight, has fought as big as light heavyweight here in the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship.
That's amazing to me. The ability to go 3 weight classes, especially heavyweight to now welterweight.
Peter's moving very well. I liked his position there against the cage. His heart rate, he's not getting too into these engagements. And Byron, super explosive, definitely. Some great movement, some great exchanges.
Again, Phillips lands a couple punches on the way in. It's a knee back from Grajkar, and right back up against the cage here for Grajkar, trying to kind of control the pace of the fight. Byron Phillips now erasing that advantage and getting one of his own.
Hope the fans can appreciate all these little subtle exchanges, like controlling the hips, keeping the hand in the middle, controlling the underhooks, not letting the opponent drop to the leg. All these knees to the legs, I know they hurt, but they're only to open up this game.
Yeah, fortunately the fans here in Calgary, fairly knowledgeable here at the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship. Rarely do you hear the kind of the cat calls and the boos that you hear at other levels. And especially the UFC, where jiu-jitsu isn't nearly as appreciated as it should be.
Definitely. I'm really actually admiring what Peter's doing here. I know he looks like he's moving kind of slow and stuff, but he's tactical. He's saving his energy. He's circling, keeping Byron against the cage.
Yes, and to your point, he's actually controlling the center. So, again, the subtleties that you talked about, and there are 3 rounds to this, potentially. So, Peter's really good at using his unorthodox aspects to take what he wants from his opponent. But at the same time, Byron's doing really good in his own right.
Definitely. One thing I did notice watching Byron's fights back is that as he gets into the fight more, he feints less. So it's definitely going to speak to Peter's takedowns if he stops just standing still, not moving his head. So he needs to feint. He wants to keep that wrestler off balance, and he wants to land some big strikes, so feint. Here we go, nice exchanges.
Phillips now trying to find the range on Gradzkar. Gradzkar, a bit of a smile on his face, hands down as he's walking towards Phillips, as if to say he knows that he can get out of the way.
And I'd like to say one thing, keeping Byron against the cage, yeah, you might be afraid he's going to explode, but it limits his opponent's sprawl. If Peter shoots, Byron's against the cage, he cannot sprawl. So this is why they're going to end up in these exchanges nearly 99% of the time.
Now you're seeing that here as Gradzkar going for the single leg up against the cage. Phillips with a couple high how you doing punches.
Yeah, but I want to see Peter start grabbing the top of the head. He needs to not only just go to where the center of mass is to get someone against the cage, he needs to find the next option. In wrestling, it's never about the shot. It's about the reshoot, the reshoot, the reshoot.
Definitely chain takedowns, chain takedowns. If not your first shot, like you said in the last fight, it's reshooting. I definitely want to see for Phillips feint and move and then attack. I don't want to see him coming forward like that.
Peter's been doing a great job to get a little piece of those right hands every single exchange, and especially when you expect someone to be the wrestler and they're hitting you and tagging you, that's going to make you hesitate.
Oh, there we go. Byron shoots, takes the back.
Basically a case of anything you can do, I can do better.
I like that.
Byron trying to find range here, and again, a nice takedown there, was able to get the back, but popping right back up, wondering if maybe he thinks he's got the better option on the feet against Gradzkar, who's got a solid ground game.
There's amazing respect between these two guys. It looks more like a spar. They're being cautious. I'd like to see him throw more caution to the wind. One of them wants to strike. We're full 10 seconds out from the end. Someone needs to do something big. Take the round.
Again, Gradzkar approaching forward but not landing anything. A knee coming back from Phillips. And again, first round, no problem for either two of these fighters as we head into the break here. They'll get 60 seconds to rest before we head into round number 2. So it's Peter Gradzkar and Byron Phillips here at Hard Knocks 54 as we take a look at some of the action from round number 1 here. 2.
He's all business in the second round.
He's not breathing heavy. No one took too much damage in the first round. Neither opponent, neither guy marked up. But I definitely want to see. I like the way it's changed now. Byron's keeping Peter against the cage. Now he has room to sprawl if Peter shoots.
Very true. He's coming a little more aggressive, but there's the sudden turn. Peter needs to put his hands up and not try and pull Roy Jones.
Yeah, at that point, Peter definitely didn't get the better of that exchange. And again, Byron able to get that right hand through on Gradzkar a moment ago.
And I can see what he's doing. He's setting his opponent up against the cage, but he needs to shoot. He's setting him up, and he's just striking with him. Set him up and run him against the cage.
Purpose. He needs to be purposeful. Byron's doing a very good job of giving him different looks, but at the same time, like you talked about, his foot back in against the cage. He didn't learn at this point what he kind of did wrong to some extent in the first round.
Definitely. There's no wrong decision. We have an unwilling opponent, so definitely we're just trying to impose our will, but two guys doing a very, very, very good job.
Well, you got to wonder if Byron didn't think he was successful in the counterpunching game in the first round. Despite Peter owning the center of the cage, Byron did get quite a few strikes. He ended up with a takedown, and you wonder if cage position didn't necessarily cost him in the first round, and a nice combination there from Gradzkar.
Definitely. Went in with his combo, threw the high kick, and then finished with the hook. It was lovely.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is Peter actually switched his stance. That's something I've been noticing in training. He's going very, very unorthodox. He and I have very similar styles in regards to, don't necessarily have the blueprints or the background that someone, who's done wrestling since they were 10, who's done kickboxing since they were in high school, whatever the case. So if you're going to embrace that open canvas, and here both fighters kind of putting their hands down and there you go, looking for the shot.
Oh, no! And a big shot from Gradzkar takes Phillips down. He's got time to recover. This fight is over.
Oh my God, we have a broken ankle. I've got the worst spot in the house to see this fight.
Oh, I did not notice that until now.
Oh my God, this is absolutely terrible. We got to get medics in there. This is terrible, man. He got exchanged, he fell. Don't pick him up, leave him lying down.
Don't touch it, Pete. Don't touch it, Pete. Pete, don't touch it.
Oh, that is very disturbing.
Absolutely, totally unfortunate. This is the name of the game. You know, you're fighting an unwilling opponent. Two guys are in there trying to impose their will. A punch lands, and I mean, the ankle was on the ground. It shouldn't have technically happened, but I mean, this is obviously the fight game we're in, guys. So, you know, I definitely hope Byron's okay.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Byron Phillips here, as the ankle is completely turned the wrong way here. Just a moment ago, it looks like doctors trying to put it together in, but we'll get the doctors to take a look at him. Peter Grajkar will be victorious here, but a terrible situation for Byron Phillips. So Byron Phillips is in some distress here with a broken ankle. Peter Grajkar will be the winner of this fight, but a rough finish and an unfortunate finish for Byron Phillips here. As you see, you can see the doctors around him. His ankle is broken. It was turned the wrong way a moment ago, and an unfortunate end to what was a good fight thus far.